Hello, friends. Hey, welcome. I want to take just a few minutes and talk to you about something that's very dear to my heart. You know, my heart has always been to help people in whatever role I've been privileged to serve in. During this season of life, it is helping people walk through pain, loss, trauma, and grief. It's amazing how much pain there is in our world. You know, we, especially even within the church, sometimes we think that we're exempt from pain and hurt, or somehow we're going to get a free pass, but that's not the way it works in this world. In fact, Jesus said there's going to be tribulation in this world, there's going to be trials, hard times. He said, "Be of good cheer, I've overcome the world," and that's our hope. But you know, it's amazing how often we allow ourselves to be trapped in our hurt and our pain and buy into the thought process that this is as good as it's going to get. This is the way it's always going to be. It's just something I've got to deal with. It's my lot in life, whatever the cliches may be. The bottom line is that in our culture, in our world, we haven't done a very good job of preparing ourselves and others for dealing with loss and pain. And that's where I, as well as many others, can help walk alongside of you on this journey. You know, it's interesting. We're all familiar with the 23rd Psalm, and we don't like the part where it says, "Though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I'll fear no evil." The Lord's there to comfort us, to be with us. And the interesting thing about the valley of the shadow of death and grief is that it doesn't always deal with bereavement. When I mention the word grief, a lot of times the first thought that goes through someone's mind is bereavement, the loss of a loved one. But there's so many losses that we experience in life that can weigh us down and prevent us from living life to its fullest. It's interesting. One of my favorite verses is John 10:10, where Jesus says that he come to give life and to give it more abundantly. The first part of that verse is that the enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy, but Jesus has come to undo the work of the enemy in our lives. So even after hurt, pain, loss, trauma, we can know healing and hope in our lives. It takes some work. Again, back to the 23rd Psalm, one of the interesting things that I learned early on in my grief journey is that we pass through the valley of the shadow of death. We're not intended to live there for the rest of our lives. We're not to build a house there, to camp out there, but we're passing through. Now, while we're passing through, the Good Shepherd is doing a work in our lives of restoring, of healing, of taking what's broken and making it strong again. And we go through the valley of the shadow of death at the pace of the Good Shepherd. There are no shortcuts, but we can delay the time that we spend in the valley longer than is necessary. Hey, there's help out there. There's hope out there. There's healing that's available because our God's a God of restoration and redemption. You know, this is about much more than just a promotion of my ministry and services that I and others can offer to help you on your healing journey. It's just a simple reminder to you that whatever losses you've incurred in life, maybe it's a broken relationship, maybe it's broken trust, it's betrayal, loss of a job, loss of health, loss of family relationship. There's so many things that we deal with in this life, and there are tools to process those losses and to help us on the journey to hope and healing. So, hey, I want to invite you to reach out to me at bobbankhead.com or at graceencounter.com. Both websites lead you to the same place. But I would love to just have a connection call with you and talk about some options. And hey, if I'm not the right one to work with you, there are many others out there that I know would be eager and well trained and equipped to help you. Just remember this: there is hope and healing after loss, pain, and trauma. Thanks for listening. God bless you. Have a wonderful day.